And we're rolling. Hi, I'm Ron. Welcome to my lunch break. And it's kind of like a lunchbox gospel. And I wanted to talk about Christian superpowers. That's right. Like, well, Spider Man, Superman. Well, Batman, he doesn't have any superpowers. He said his superpower is just him being rich. But I guess all right, if you want to even count that as a superpower, because God has the cattle on 1,000 hills, or all the cattle of the 1,000 hills, so that's rich, richer than Bruce Wayne. So that's the first one. Now there are 9 gifts of the Spirit. On top of my head, I don't have them all. Um, Prophecy, healing, deliverance. Those are the 3 categories. I kind of chop them up into. But as well as, well, I'll go with prophecy. Prophecy, you can know the secrets of someone else's heart, an unbeliever in particular. And then when you pray that secret out into the open, not for embarrassment, it's just the opposite. It is so that they know that God is real, because only God would know something about them. And it is God expressing themselves through us to let them know He's real and that He loves them. And then at that moment, they're like, oh my gosh, I can now believe in God. So everything, all these superpowers I'm talking about, now obviously I'm joking about it, the way I'm expressing it, superpowers, but they are all exclusively given by Jesus, for Jesus, for the kingdom of heaven. They're not, they are not given by any other medium or agency, or it's all the name of Jesus, kingdom of heaven, that's it. And in my book, it's exclusively Jesus. Now, also, well, I guess I need to amend that a little bit. There are angels that encamp about us and that help us out. So, uh, if not your superpower, it's the superpower of someone else interacting with our life. There was a fellow named Branham who was had a great healing ministry back in, I think, the 40s and 50s. And he used to have an angel around him that did the healing. And he just knew when the angel was around. And he's like, oh, the angel's here, so we're going to do some healing now. And he had words of knowledge about people, like their names and addresses and their ailments. And again, it wasn't him or his inner being knowing anything. It was coming through Jesus's crew, one of his angels, that allowed Branham to have this information. And again, it is to glorify Jesus, to bring people into the kingdom of heaven. And also for Branham, it's biblical that healing is, that's part of our inheritance. It is the children's bread, as what Jesus said. Healing is the children's bread. So what else is there? So just going back into the Old Testament, Samson Power. Now that's a superpower that I've experienced kind of a little bit. Like they call it anointing or whatever. I was doing construction and I was so filled with God's Spirit and His presence and His love. I did huge amounts of work. It didn't wear me down. And I felt like I had to do the work. Otherwise, I had so much energy I was going to bust. That or also went and played with the kids and just wore them out. So, good superpower for you moms and dads out there that got kids that you're wearing you down. You can get juiced up by God and go play. That's not bad. What else was there? I don't want to say talking with animals, but there was Daniel and Isaiah both had been helped by God. Daniel was going to be thrown into a den of hungry lions because he wouldn't worship the false idol of Nebuchadnezzar, and an angel shut the mouth of the lions. And then Isaiah was prophesying there'd be a drought in Israel, and ravens fed him while everyone else was dying. So there's our interaction with animals. Let me think. Then there was also, not a good story, but there was a mad prophet the one time that God uses the madness of Balaam, now that was like, if you ever want to know what a new ager is, and I'm not hacking the new ager people because I love me some of them folk, but just the whole principle is Balaam was a prophet of God, and he knew God. He said he had visions, and he heard God's voice, and he was gonna curse the children of Israel. Way to go, Balaam! Not. And on his way to go curse them, he was on a donkey, and there was an angel with its sword drawn, and it was going to kill Balaam because God was ticked. He's like, all right, we have a problem employee. We're about to take care of him. And then God, using the donkey, gave the donkey the ability to speak and said, and I'm paraphrasing, he's like, dude, you're about to die. Because, actually, I take that back. It was Balaam was beating the donkey, and the donkey then spoke with a person's voice, like, how many years have I been in your service, and I've ever done this before with you? And Balaam was just talking to the donkey. He didn't even freak out that the donkey was talking. And to make a long story short, maybe I'm paraphrasing here, but basically the donkey said, listen, you're about to, have I ever done this before? And you're acting a fool. And then God opened up Balaam's eyes to see the angel with the sword drawn, and he realized he was doing something terribly wrong, which brings me to another superpower. It is to see into the spirit. Once you give your heart, and all of this, what I'm talking about, these superpowers, now these are just things that can happen as you give your heart to Jesus. One of them is you can see in the spirit, and I've seen this. It's kind of cool. Like, a realm that had been closed to us before is now properly open to us. There's no drugs, there's no weirdness, and you can see both angels and demons, depending on God wants you what He wants you to see. But we can see into the spirit so that we can see good and bad, and I prefer the good. So, what else is there? Then you can hear angels and demons. For me, angels sound like the most beautiful tuning fork you've ever heard. It's not just hearing it, but it's experiencing it in another way. It's like a realm opens up, and I got sucked into it. And I know at that moment, anything I ask, either for myself or for other people, the impossible is possible, because that's when they show up. It's kind of like game time. God's going, hey, why don't you ask for the impossible? Because I know you want to, and you need it, so here it is. What else is there? So seeing in the spirit, hearing in the spirit. For myself, I could taste a sweet taste. And the psalmist says, taste and see that the Lord is good. And when I first got saved, when I gave my heart to God, I used to smoke about 2 packs of cigarettes a day. Marlboro Red, soft pack. It was bad. Couldn't get rid of them. Went for prayer, brand new to the whole Jesus scene, and went up front for prayer from the pastor, and he laid hands on me, and nothing happened. I'm like, all right. And as I'm walking away from the stage area, about 3 steps away, I got a sweet taste on my tongue. I'm like, I got a sweet taste on my tongue. And to make a long story short, I preferred the sweet taste to the cigarettes. And it was a step-down program, so that in 2 weeks I went from 2 packs of smokes down to 4 cigarettes, because my duration between puffs got longer and longer and longer, because I liked the sweet taste better than the cigarette, because when I took a hit of the cigarette, it would go away for a little bit. So I got delivered, I got a step-down program for smoking, so when I got to 4 cigarettes, I'm like, all right, this is new. God, you're going to have to help me walk through this so that I don't, to live a different life without these. And that was 20 years ago. And now I don't even mind being around it. I don't get triggered. And I can pray for other people to get delivered from smoking. So you can do it too. Just like, Lord, give me that. I want to be delivered to cigarettes. That's pretty much it in your heart. How He exactly does it for you, don't know, but He'll do it. What other superpowers are there? Laying on the hands for healing. 3 ways to heal. By the way, it's all Him. But it's Isaiah 53:5. By his stripes, by Jesus' stripes, we're healed. You can declare a word, like if you're looking right now at me and you're like, you got a migraine headache, by his stripes, you're healed. Boom, it's gone. And if that's you, good for you. Um, but basically, you can speak a word, you can lay hands on someone where the ouch is at, whether it's a cold or cancer, it's the same principle. By his stripes, be healed. Side note, if you pray for somebody and let's say it's shoulder pain and it immediately moves to somewhere else, it is my strong opinion, it is a spirit of infirmity, because what you're doing is you're chasing it away from the area, and once it moves, you just chase that thing out. And I call them critters because unclean entities. It's like you bind them up and you cast them out. Go to dry places, and that is again our not so much a superpower. That is our authority. That is given to us. That's not a special power. That's a healing and casting out of demons. That's every believer's authority. You have the right to do that right out the gate. Then there's prophecy, to know the future. Again, this is Jesus. He lives in the past, the present, and the future. So if he's already there. He's like, oh, by the way, next Tuesday at 12, such and such is going to happen. He gives you the information either for yourself or to share with someone else. Again, letting us know that he's real and he is omnipresent, all present in time and space. And if this information is for someone else, it helps them to navigate a certain situation coming up in their life. Again, we are exalting Jesus and magnifying him. Basically, do it like Jesus, you rock, and this is how they're like, how do you know that? Like, are you a psychic? Like, no. It's, my joke is we are TV sets, and you have God TV and Satan TV, and both work similarly. It is always by faith. It's going to be for good and evil. You're going to work by, spirit of God or an unclean spirit. And sorry, yes, if it ain't Jesus, it's an unclean spirit. Sorry, not hating. This is just the way it's sliced. Because if I said any other way, I'd be lying. But actually, that's part of the reason I'm speaking this out. Because let's say for Reiki, yeah, some Reiki practitioners can get results. However, it will absolutely lead anybody and everybody away from Jesus. This is supremacy of him. I've done Reiki too, so I'm not just shooting my mouth off here. I had some unclean spirits that I contracted when they laid hands on me for Reiki. There was always a price spiritually, and it was negative. And one, for Jesus, you never ever charge money for this. If you heal somebody or prophesy or deliver, you don't mess. They want to give you money, you're like, fine, go give it to charity, go give it to a poor person. Now that's cool, but you never charge ever. You don't take credit for it ever. You just be humble, you'll be all right. But what else is there? So levitation. Here's a funny one. All right, I was working on a ledge. This isn't so much levitation as an angel interacting in my life. I do construction, as you can tell by my attire. I do outside work, and I was out working on a ledge about 4 foot off the ground, no big deal. And I was losing my balance, and when I about got this far out, where it was like the point of no return, I got stopped. It was like, oop. And I'm like, all right, this is different. And then I got pulled back. And it wasn't by my straps or anything. It was from my heart. And it felt great. It was the coolest thing I'd ever felt. And I'm like, all right. I don't know why you did it, but you did it. Thanks. Thanks, Pop. So that's not so much levitation as an angel interacting, but there's been people, there's other Catholic saints that have levitated. And when they're in prayer and just getting an encounter with Jesus, Jesus floated up into heaven. He's not, he just he went up. And so sometimes when we engage with God, these things can happen. What other superpowers? What's kind of fun? So that's about it for now. I'll throw some out in the future. If you have any questions about them, hit me up. And if something cool has happened to you, let me know. That's kind of fun to share. And again, it's by Jesus, so ask him into your heart to be your Lord and the Redeemer. Oh, the greatest superpower of all, a transformed heart. I forgot about this one. This one I know about completely. I was a mess 20 years ago, and he came in. I felt it like a finger poking into my chest up to this knuckle right there. And he came around slowly, and when he popped in, it was like a fire hydrant cap getting busted off, and love just came gushing out. And he ain't stopped. It's been 20 years. It changed a burnout, hippie, wannabe, shaman, Buddhist, Zen master, off the rails kind of dude into a fairly stable, normal person with a renewed mind. Well, if he can do it for me, he can do it for you. All you have to do is ask. So call now. Angels standing by. Good day to you. Bye.